Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, 12 Gusau University students, 6 construction workers still in captivity. 2 arrested, CCTV cameras, other items recovered in suspected IPOB camp. NNPCL denies alleged plan to increase petrol pump price. And away from Nigeria, death toll rises to 40 in India's Sikkim flooding after lake overflow. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full. The Vice-Chancellor of Federal University of Gusau, Professor Mu'azu Abubakar, has appealed to parents of the 12 remaining abducted female students who are still in captivity to be patient as the security agencies are doing their best to rescue and bring them back home safe. The Vice-Chancellor made the call while updating journalists on the status of the female students of the institution that were abducted from the university's off-campus hostels at Sabongida community. The report.
This is the first time the Vice-Chancellor of Federal University in Gusau, Professor Mu'azu Abubakar, will be addressing journalists on camera since the abduction of the female students and a protocol officer from Sabongida community few meters away from the university. Also kidnapped were some construction workers within the institution in the past 1 week. The good news is that as of the 25 students abducted, 13 had been rescued so far while 12 are still in captivity. Similarly, as of 9 kidnapped construction workers, 3 have regained their freedom while 6 are still in the hands of their abductors. The Vice-Chancellor is giving assurances that security forces are working to ensure the safe return of the affected persons from captivity.
When it happens, about 6 of them were rescued. 6 of them were rescued, and many of them, about 8 of them, they actually run away from their abductors.
Professor Abubakar said he was just as worried as relatives of the abducted persons, particularly because the abducted persons were students of his institution. He blamed bad societal attitudes and behavior as responsible for the state of insecurity, pointing out that for the country to overcome these challenges, there was a need for attitudinal change from Nigerians.
You don't expect students to go, and no matter how cheap that place is, you will know that that place is really not conducive and not safe for somebody to stay. So we went around, we identified places. Okay, you can stay here, you can now lodge on this one. We know this place, we take register, we take statistics of where they should be. And in Dampa in particular, we make it very categorical that they are staying at their own risk. Why? Because it's not our responsibility.
The lack of hostel accommodation for female students and the absence of a perimeter fence in the Federal University Gusau is one of the reasons why the students are exposed to incessant abduction by the suspected terrorists operating in Zamfara State.
In the meantime, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has received the woman Hawawu Halilu, who was displaced by bandits and featured in a viral video where she and her family had been forced to eat grass to survive. A statement by the governor's spokesperson, Suleiman Idris, explained that Lawal hosted the displaced woman to demonstrate his dedication to safeguarding the lives and welfare of the indigents in the state. Governor Lawal promptly provided the displaced woman with a roof over her head and a comfortable and well-furnished home. The governor reassured her that government will feed her family and provide her with other necessities that will ensure that she could rebuild her life with dignity and security. Furthermore, he instructed the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology to ensure her children's immediate enrollment and full scholarship. The Christian worshippers of the Christ Apostolic Church, OK, girl in Akure, Ondo State, abducted last week Friday by suspected armed men, have been freed from their captivity. It was gathered that the victims were released after their families paid the sum of 50 million naira ransom. Recall that their abductors had demanded 50 million naira ransom for the release of the 17 victims after 8 of the 25 abducted escaped from the kidnappers' den last week Saturday. A source in the church disclosed that the remaining victims arrived at the church premises late Thursday night. Police Public Relations Officer in Ondo State, Fumilayo Odulami Omisaya, confirmed their release. All right. We will be taking some updates, and we are being joined via phone by our reporter in Ondo State, Tosin Tokpe, for more. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. So, what's the last thing we've heard on the released abductees now from the CSE Church?
Well, just like we've rightly reported, the remaining victims, that worshippers of the church, were released yesterday night, that's Thursday, and around 11:47 p.m. yesterday night. Don't forget that 8 persons were earlier rescued by security agencies. That should be last weekend, Saturday. But the sharing news now is that nobody is in captivity any longer. So we have all the abductees now released, and that's just the update. And the remaining 11 now are back in the States after huge ransom has paid. So they are back into the States now, no longer in the captivity of the kidnappers.
Okay, so is there any sort of medical check that was conducted on these abductees, and have they been reunited with their families?
Yes, as I speak with you, I'm aware that after they are released, they were taken into the custody of the security agencies, where they were moved to hospitals where they took medical, where they where medical attention was administered.
Okay, so what role did the security forces played in the release of these abductees? Hello? All right, it appears that we've lost Tosin there, giving us an update on the release of the abductees from Ondo State. Now, moving on, the Lagos State Police Command has named Feisayo Ogedengbe as the prime suspect following the death of 27-year-old Ilerioluwa Oladimeji, or Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad. During a press briefing on Friday at the police headquarters, Lagos State Commissioner of Police Idowu Owohunwa said investigations reveal that Ogedengbe was contacted and invited by the deceased friend named Ayobami Sadiq, also known as Spending, to treat Mohbad. Aishat Momo reports.
The mystery surrounding the death of Ilerioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, also known as Mohbad, has started to unravel, with the Nigerian police painting a picture of events that led to his death. The investigations hint that the injections that were administered by the auxiliary nurse and the deceased singer may have caused a chain of reactions leading to his tragic death. Experts' opinions and witnesses' statements, as well as the nurse's statement, show that administering 3 different injection doses of tetanus toxoid, paracetamol intravenous, and cetrazone may have triggered the reactions that eventually led to his death.
The investigation process was directed at addressing 2 fundamental questions. Firstly, what are the immediate chain of events that occasioned the death of Mohbad? Secondly, who are the actors that could, within the context of extant criminal law, and procedures be evidentially held criminally liable, either individually or jointly, for the death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023. In addressing the latter component of these questions, due investigative actions were focused on the allegations of possible complicity in the death of Mohbad by Abdulaziz Adesina.
In a related development, credible evidence has linked Abdulaziz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, and Samson Balogun Elutu, also known as Sam Larry, to cyberbullying, physical abuse, threat to life, and assault on the deceased singer. The two have been detained by the police and interrogated on their alleged roles in the sequence of events that led to the death of the singer.
It also focuses on allegations on the social media that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency could be complicit in his death following a viral video in which the late singer raised the narrative of his experience while in custody of the agency prior to his death. The intent of this component of the investigation is to establish if there is any evidential proof to circumstantially or directly link the allegations against Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and NDLA to the eventual death of Mohbad on 12 September 2023.
The police interim report is now ready, while the results of the autopsy and toxicology test are being awaited. However, the Lagos State Police Commissioner says substantial grants have been covered by the Special Investigation Team to warrant the processing of the case file to the Director of Public Prosecution.
The Osun State government has ordered a 24-hour curfew with immediate effect in Ifon and Ilobu communities of the state following the ongoing communal clashes between its members, leading to the loss of lives and properties. Governor Ademola Adeleke, in a statement by Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolapo Alimi, said that the curfew was to forestall the further breakdown of law and order in the once peaceful and law-abiding communities. The state government also ordered strict restriction of both human and vehicular movements in the affected areas and communities until otherwise directed by the governor. Now, still on security matters, the troops of Joint Task Force Southeast Operation, codenamed Udoka 2, has conducted clearance operations in the hideouts of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its Eastern Security Network affiliates in 2 council areas in Imo State. This is contained in a statement issued on Friday in Enugu by Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Onuakalu, Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations, 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, for the Joint Task Force Operation Udoka 2. The clearance operations, the Army said, which took place simultaneously on Thursday, was conducted in Osu local government area and Okigwe local government area of Imo State, respectively. Now, Unua Kalu said that the clearance operations were aimed at identifying and destroying possible camps of the fleeing IPOB ESN terrorists who are killing and maiming as well as extorting innocent citizens of the Southeast in the name of agitation. The Army spokesperson noted that Operation Udoka 2 will continue combating ritual killings, cannibalism, kidnapping for ransom, and extortion of hardworking and law-abiding citizens in the Southeast. Now, members of the House of Representatives have called for an investigation into the public funds expended on closed-circuit cameras across the Federal Capital Territory amidst unabated killings of Nigerians by one-chance syndicates. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion on matters of urgent public importance sponsored by Mudashiru Lukman on the need to address the death of Ms. Greatness Oluwafemi by one-chance syndicates in Abuja. The report.
One-chance syndicates are criminal groups that pose as taxi drivers and rob, assault, and sometimes murder their unsuspecting passengers. Unfortunately, there have been several reports of killings of Nigerians by one-chance syndicates in recent times. In his lead debate, Lukman, who stressed the need for government to ensure the safety of lives and property of citizens nationwide, expressed great concern at the manner in which these miscreants operate without fear of apprehension. He observed that the hotbed areas where these criminals prevail include most areas such as Gariki, Kubwa, Lugbe, and Abaji, among others. The lawmaker therefore called on all security agencies to provide adequate synergy to bring such perpetrators to book.
Cognizant of the recent unfortunate death of Ms. Greatness Oluwafemi, we was latest victim of one chance operation in Abuja, a vibrant young lady who passed away on 26 September 2023 after she was allegedly pushed off a moving vehicle by unsuspected one chance syndicate along Maitama Tugwa Road.
Lawmakers in their contributions stressed the need for other affected states across the country to be incorporated into the prayers of the motion. They expressed worries about how the legislature continues to advocate for the promotion of security measures for the protection of the citizenry, and unfortunately the measures are either not fully implemented or not implemented altogether. The amendment is for a national security dialogue to be incorporated into the prayers of the motion to address the teething issues of insecurity in the country.
We have spoken about that on this hallowed chamber. We will continue to advocate for new things, policies, and programs of government to be put in place. In my own opinion, Mr. Speaker, we should not support wastages of taxpayers' money.
I want the Federal FCT committee to look into all the funds that have been channeled into putting cameras around FCT in the last 15 years and investigate why those cameras are not working.
All the security agencies under the National Security, DSS and so on, have the capacity to monitor the entire and comb the entire FCT. So we should ask the Committee on National Security as part of investigators, because they will be able to give us the appropriate information on what is happening within the FCT.
While ruling, the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, who presided over this section, urged Nigerians to be vigilant and cautious when using public transport, as well as ensuring they only use registered taxis and avoid boarding unmarked or unregistered vehicles. The motion was referred to the relevant standing committees for further legislative action. Meanwhile, the leadership of the House has inaugurated some of the standing committees. They include Appropriations, Public Accounts, House Services, Niger Delta Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, Public Petitions, Federal Character, Ecological Fund, Constitution Review, Local Content, Works, Finance, Defense, Agriculture Production and Services, among others.
Now, communities around Kaduna Millennium City are finding it difficult to access the metropolis due to the poor condition of the road. Residents in those communities say that the condition of the road makes it difficult for pregnant women to visit the hospital during labor. Bello Musa reports.
The road links Nambushia, KKA, and B and other communities around the Millennium City. Despite a sizable population in the area, the lack of accessible road hinders development in the communities. The roads are bad as it affects our motorcycles. Even now, I am coming back from mechanic workshop from repairing my motorcycle.
Sakamakon rashin hanya mai kyau. Wannan hanyar sai dai inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Don wannan hanyar
the condition of the roads are pathetic. Taking patients to hospital on this road is challenging. From the main road to KK is a 15-minute drive, but with the condition of the road, one must spend an hour.
Kaga tafiyan duka bai wuce tafiyan minti 15 zuwa da dawowa, amma sai da ne awa 1 da wani abu a wannan motar.
Actually, the condition of the roads during the raining season is actually terrible because there is erosion and the roads are scattered, and we find it very difficult to use the road during the raining season. Even though sometimes the community used to contribute and refill some holes within the roads, but still we find it very difficult to use the roads. Sometimes if there is rain, you have to wait for the rain to subside before you can be able to pass through the road.
According to the residents, if constructed, the road will ease the difficulties they face moving from one place to the other.
So we are appealing to the current government. They should try and come and intervene. They should come and help us and repair the road so that it will ease our movement within the community.
Appealing to state government to help us construct the road so that it will ease our hardship. Government should please help us construct the road. In the past, kidnappings and attacks by bandits were recorded at KKB. According to the resident, with good and accessible road, it will be easier for security agencies to respond to distress calls. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Price of cooking gas rises to 12,500 per 12.5 kg in the FCT. Details and more after the break.
I was born in Aweo, and I can't remember the day or even the month. I'm now something like 80 something years. I do not count my age. I had my primary school, junior primary at that time in Aweo, and had my senior primary school in Hadija, and I had my secondary school in Kano Middle School. Started working at about 18. But then an opportunity came when a new teacher training college for grade 2 teachers. A new college was established in Gombe. And if I was interested in going there, I jumped at it. At the opportunity, and I went there, spent 4 years, and graduated as a grade 2 teacher. And that was about the time also
Let's take you on a ride through a series of colors, events, concerts, and lots more. Are you planning an event? EventScope has you covered. Make Trust TV your #1 choice to cover your event. Call 080-3591-0553. EventScope, making your event classic. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Trust TV News for latest updates on EventScope.
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. 12 Gusau University students, 6 construction workers still in captivity. 2 arrested. CCTV cameras are the items recovered in suspected IPOB camps. Now, in other news, the Abia State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Umuahia has dismissed the 3 grounds suit filed by the PDP and its governorship candidate, Oke Ahiwe, seeking the sack of Governor Alex Oti of the Labour Party. In a unanimous judgment, the 3-member panel led by Justice H.T.D. Gwada dismissed the petition for lacking merit and affirmed Oti as the duly elected governor of Abia State after the March 18, 2023 governorship election, While delivering judgment on the matter, Justice Gwada held that on the issue of whether Oti was qualified to contest the election, the arguments of the petitioners were pre-election matters which the tribunal lacked jurisdiction to entertain. Now reacting, the Abia State People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in the 2023 general elections, Oke Ahiwe, appreciated his supporters, legal team, family, friends and associates. He says there is no cause for alarm regarding the tribunal verdict, as truth and justice will ultimately triumph. While expressing confidence in the judiciary, he said that his legal team will thoroughly examine the judgment of the tribunal and advise accordingly on the next line of action. Ahiwe called on his teaming supporters to remain calm and law-abiding, assuring that following due consultations with his legal team and the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, he will keep them informed on the direction to take. The governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, has called for a reduction in fuel pump price to enable the residents of the state to cope with the current hardship bedeviling the nation. He made the call while playing host to the Imo State chapter of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN. He admitted that he had received several calls from residents of governments for government's intervention. Ajibade Praise has more.
The call by the governor on the independent marketers to reduce the fuel price is coming at a time that seems most needed. The group, led by their chairman, Mr. Chidiebere Okorafor, had approached the government to help look into taxes levied on their members with a view to effect a downtown review. The governor, however, used the opportunity to make case for residents of the state.
The price, who is fixing this price? The regulation means you should allow market forces to drive the price. Why are we punishing our people? We are ready even to exclude you from paying taxes. But you want that to be appreciated by transferring the good to the people. It's not being done.
We are doing that, and you will agree with me, you're a pressman. I know that you can die if I get more information. Just find out from other states how much they are selling clean products. You will agree with that in state is far lower. We are bleeding on the state.
Residents of the state, especially transporters, are lamenting that the current price of premium motor spirit, PMS, is biting hard on them. Cross-section of commercial bus drivers in the state lamented that the situation is not getting any better and something should be done before it gets out of hand.
It's too painful because this fuel is from our country and now we are suffering for it. So let federal governments know what they will do about it. Let them manage the country well.
There's no way we'll be comfortable with the current price of fuel because with this high price of fuel in this country, everybody is suffering over it. Everything is high, transport is high, food stuff is high. Because when fuel price is low, everything will come low. We are suffering it so much.
They pay me well. They pay you. The whole money why they make for every day, they take and buy fuel. When I reach house, I no go see money to feed my 5 people.
On the issue of palliative and rice shared to cushion the effect of subsidy removal, the people are saying it is of no effect as many of them did not even get the palliative.
That is, I've not seen anything because I've been hearing about it, but I suspect that I don't know how they're doing it. Yes,
this thing they make us we suffer too much. I beg. Alright.
Fuel is currently being sold between 610 naira and 620 naira per liter in the state, a price the residents say they cannot continue to bear. It is hoped that the intervention by the governor for possible reduction in the price will yield a desired result. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
As teachers all over the world celebrate their anniversary on every 5th of October, teachers in Nigeria continue to explain their plight while in the teaching services. The teachers who always forward their complaints to the public office holders for consideration, however, decry the poor nature of their welfare. Ado Musa tells us more.
The 2023 World Teachers' Day celebration focuses on the theme, "The Teachers We Need for the Education We Want," the global imperative to reverse the teacher shortage. The Teachers' Day was established in 1994 to celebrate how teachers are transforming education and to reflect on the support they need to fully deploy their talent and vocation and to rethink the way ahead for the profession globally. Abdulrahman Ibrahim is a Jos-based primary school teacher who has been teaching since 1993 in Jos North local government area. He says his current salary cannot buy him foodstuffs for a week.
It affects my life very well, yes, because of the inflation. Everything has been inflated.
The primary school teacher says, though he is proud to be a teacher, he doesn't believe that one can own a house before retirement because of the current salary he receives. The situation is so bad for the primary school teacher that his landlord has given him quit notice to leave his rented apartment.
Now I have to leave. I say yes. I am begging him to ask the landlord to add more 7 days for me so that I'll be able to get where I will live.
He calls on government to do the needful to improve the welfare of teachers for the betterment of education in the country.
The welfare should be given to teachers. Anything that concerns promotion, their salary should be improved so as to enhance the learning and teaching activities in the schools.
Nigerian workers, including teachers, have always been complaining about the meager amount they are paid as salaries by the government. They say the current salary can no longer buy even essential goods for their families. Despite copious promises by government for better working conditions every year on Teachers' Day, government has failed to upwardly review their remuneration and improve working conditions. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, youth activism has been described as a potent tool for bringing about change in neighborhoods and the wider world. This, stakeholders say, is because being young gives vigor, enthusiasm, and the determination to express opinions, provide original ideas, and become more involved and active citizens. In this report, Noel Samson speaks to youth advocates on the importance of youth activism and whether or not Nigerian youths are truly ready to be active in all aspects of the society.
Young people bring many assets to community building work, which too often are not valued or leveraged. Communities should have varied avenues for a wide diversity of young people's voices to be heard and for you to contribute to a thriving community.
Youth activism is really important. It's part of a broader set of principles around youth having a voice, and that voice being able to inform and direct policy formulation, program formulation, and decisions both at the government level, in the private sector, and beyond. In the education space, it's especially important because young people are the beneficiaries of education. We have a huge growing young population, and to fully harness our demographic dividend and make and craft solutions that are actually impactful.
Okay, so we need to recognize that a lot of the things that we do, especially in the education space, they're not very sustainable because we are only scratching surfaces. The efforts are good, but if we really want a lot of effort or sustainability, then we have to get the governments to work. So if you bring youth energy together, you make them have the mindset that to make a difference in your community, you have to lend your voice to what matters.
So particularly now, the Committee on Youth Development is working very closely with the House Committee on Electoral Matters to see that the political parties are approached to do a kind of incentive or even clear waivers. And before long, you begin to see all of this come into fruition.
The youth are important in every decision that we are making as a country, and this is acknowledged globally because you need the youth who are leaders of both today and tomorrow in order to achieve, in order to march into civilization. Whenever you are making any decision, you need to understand the perspectives of the youth.
Nigerian youths, they have always been ready to actively participate in all aspects of our national life.
Yeah, I think Nigerian youths are actually doing that. But the only issue that they are having is that many of them are not aware of the space that they can be able to learn.
To be so honest, I would say Nigerian youths are ready, because since 2020, there are 3 years back, the involvement of youths in politics and every other phase of governance in the country has actually increased. And I think all we can just do is keep pushing awareness and preach active bystanding.
In sum, youth participation helps to build broad and inclusive movements, laying the groundwork for success and for inclusive democratic reforms during political transitions. An important caveat, however, is that these advantages do not necessarily transcend to other major societal cleavages. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The price of cooking gas has risen to 12,500 per 12.5 kg in the nation's capital, Abuja. The rise seems to corroborate rumors earlier in the month that the price will rise to 18,000 naira by the end of the year. In this report, again, Noel Samson gets the reactions of FCT residents on its implications.
These FCT residents are complaining bitterly about the implication of the rising price of cooking gas on their households and those of majority of Nigerians, as the increasing price is making life unbearable for them.
Everybody has adjusted everybody has cut some expenses, like some things you don't need that you felt is not necessary. We have stopped using them. Everybody face the basic things that are needed. And you know, Nigerians, we are very easy to adjust to things.
It's a very bad thing now in the house, because for you to even make a meal, you find it difficult. The price, it has skyrocketed. Not only skyrocketed, to even get it now is a problem. You go to some major dealers that have it, because the minor ones, they don't have it. You have to queue. It's something we have not been experiencing in Nigeria before.
Like me now, I stay with my family, you understand? I'm still under my parents. So then, when the gas price is normal, my dad used to buy full 12 kg. But now, he buys half. At times, when my mom tells him that gas has finished, she'll be like, oh, when did I fill gas? Now it has finished. So it's really affected us. Like it's really affecting.
They increased the money for gas, both the fuel. It has not really been easy, because sometimes I used to even buy food outside just to cut the expenses. And it is really disturbing, because many people will come to work without eating. Some people will even go back from work without eating, because if you go to get a food by the roadside, they will tell you that the price of gas has increased. They increase every part of the food, like it's crazy.
A gas plant manager, Usman Bala, who told Trust TV the reasons behind the increase, also warned that if care is not taken, the price will go higher than it is now in the next few weeks.
Honestly, these recent days we have experienced a rapid increase in gas prices than ever. Why? Because now it's something that we are importing. Dollar now is ranging between 900 and 1,000 naira to dollar. Then AGO price. That is because it's diesel. Because all of our trucks are using diesel in terms of transport. So diesel itself now is above 1,000 naira per liter. Some places 1,100, some 1,000. So diesel itself now is ranging between 1,000 and 1,100 naira per liter. So honestly, this is the major thing that caused this increase.
Residents are appealing to the government to intervene as life is becoming unbearable for them. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Time now to take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify. But
there are people who say not spending money is not about you.
I'm coming. Let me finish.
But there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No.
is about collective responsibility for all of us. And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for them, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago, you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Sounds like you are disappointed with the current lot.
We are outside, me and you, regardless, we could have done better.
That you don't have to sacrifice your conviction. We cannot settle for what is bad.
I sacked a governor because of misappropriating 300,000 naira.
The clamor by the NCSC was a unitary form of government. This doesn't go well with Savannah. So when we said we wanted self-government for Nigeria in 1996, so you count me out.
What you call goal, aims and directives. But the issue of joining politics simply because you want to be given job or to be given contract.
Removing the assumptions, the foundations of their theories. And at the end of it, each and every one of them seems to be surprised.
I was posted to Guachuku. My job was to go from community to community, educating the people how to improve themselves. Government will come to help you.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Now, moving on. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, has reacted to speculations that it is nursing a plan to increase its pump price. Reports earlier emerged that the landing cost of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, jumped from 651 naira to a litre to 720 naira per litre. This fueled speculations that the pump price of the petroleum product may skyrocket in the next few days. However, reacting to the report, the company's management, in a statement shared on Friday via X, denied the report, saying that there was no intention for any increment. Household kerosene prices surged by 57.18%, reaching 1,272 naira per litre in August, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The NBS National Household Kerosene Price Watch report noted that this sharp increase from last year's 809.52 naira in August 2022 highlighted escalating energy costs. The report revealed an uptick on a month-on-month basis, with the average price per litre at 1,272 naira, a concerning 0.92% rise from July's 1,200 naira. State-level analysis shows substantial pricing disparities. For some more on business update, Chiamaka Nwafo has more.
Nigeria's capital importation fell quarter-on-quarter by 9.04% to $1.03 billion in the second quarter of 2023 from $1.13 billion in quarter one of 2023. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, disclosed this on Friday in its capital importation report for quarter two 2023. NBC noted that other investments ranked top, accounting for 81.3%, that is $837.54 million of total capital importation during the period. The Bureau also said that First Bank of Nigeria Limited received the highest capital into Nigeria with $323.13 million. According to the NBS, the quarter 2 2023 total capital importation of $1.03 billion is lower than $1.53 billion recorded in quarter 2 of 2022. Capital importation in the reference period originated largely from the United States with $71.92 million, accounting for 26.4%, followed by Singapore and the Republic of South Africa with $177.44 million, accounting for 17.2%, and $136.95 million, accounting for 13.3%, respectively. Lagos State remained the top destination in quarter 2 of 2023 with $778.06 million, accounting for 75.5% of total capital, followed by Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, with $194.28 million, accounting for 18.8%. The managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, says a prosperous world economy in the 21st century requires a prosperous Africa. Georgieva said this at the 2023 annual meeting's curtain raiser speech on the outlook for the global economy and policy priorities in Côte d'Ivoire on Thursday. Georgieva said Africa also makes the strongest case for building economic resilience. Speaking on the global economic outlook, the IMF board said the economy was resilient but challenged by weak growth and deepening divergence, largely because of stronger than expected demand for services and tangible progress in the fight against inflation. The IMF boss identified the 3 policy priorities countries should consider for stronger future economic growth, to include reinforcing economic and financial stability by fighting inflation, laying the foundations for inclusive, sustainable growth through transformational reforms and building strong state institutions, as well as boosting collective resilience through international cooperation. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafor.
Now, the African Union is set to officially inaugurate the Africa Centers for Disease Control Multi-Sectoral Task Force on Non-Communicable Diseases, Injuries and Mental Health. The organization made this known in a statement published on the AU's website on Friday. It said the event, scheduled to hold October 24th to 26th in Cape Town, South Africa, will carry out inductions of members of the multi-sectoral task force, define roles and responsibilities of each stakeholder. It added that the induction will identify areas that each institution, agency and department could contribute to prevention and control as a continental strategy. According to the statement, the objective is, among other things, to define roles and responsibilities of members and agree on the terms of reference for the multi-sectoral task force. And away from Nigeria, the death toll in India's Sikkim state has risen to 40 after heavy rainfall in the northeastern state caused a glacial lake to overflow and flood surrounding areas with ice-cold water. In one of the worst disasters in the region in 50 years, the floods washed away houses and bridges. Damage to key infrastructure and continuous rainfall has cut off the capital city, Gangtok, and made the rescue operations more difficult. 15 bridges in the state have been washed away, including all bridges downstream of the NHPC hydropower station Testa V, according to the Indian government. About 2,400 people have been rescued since Wednesday, and 26 injured individuals were taken to the hospitals. Rescue workers are still trying to locate almost 100 people including 23 army personnel. And in sports news, Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba's failed drug test has been confirmed after his B sample tested positive. Pogba, 30, was provisionally suspended last month after his initial sample found elevated levels of testosterone in his system. The France international was selected for random testing after Juve's 3-0 win at the Udinese on 20 August when he had been an unused substitute. If found guilty of doping, he could be banned for between 2 and 4 years. Still on sports news, Coco Gauff extended her winning streak to 16 matches to set up a semi-final against Iga Swiatek at the China Open. The 19-year-old American beat Greek 6th seed Maria Sakkari 6-2, 6-4 in Beijing. The world number 3 will face Swiatek after the Pole battled back from the brink of defeat against Caroline Garcia. Now, Garcia had been 2 points from victory but lost 6-7, 7-6 and 6-1. Now, for more on sports news, let's join Emmanuel Fashini.
Former NPFL champions and Nigerians' only surviving club side in the CAF Interclub competition, Rivers United have been drawn in Group C of the CAF Confederations Cup group stage. Rivers United sent out Etoile Filente of Côte d'Ivoire in the second round to qualify for the group stage of this year's CAF Confederations Cup. The Pride of Rivers have been drawn in Group C alongside top Tunisian club, Club Africain, Dreams FC of Ghana and APC Lobito of Angola. The top 2 teams from the group stage will progress to the quarter-final. It will be recalled that Club Africain beat Rivers United home and away to knock them out of the Confederations Cup group stage in 2017. In other draws, Group A has USMA of Algeria, Future FC of Egypt, SuperSport United of South Africa and Al Ahly Benghazi of Libya. In Group B, Zamalek of Egypt is drawn alongside Sagrada Esperança of Angola, Academic SUA and Abu Salim of Libya, while Group D housed RS Berkane from Morocco, Diabos Noes of Congo, Stade Malien of Mali and Sekounene United of South Africa. In weightlifting, the president of Nigerian Weightlifting Federation, Ibrahim Abdul, has confirmed that plans are underway for the country to attend the 2023 African Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championship in Egypt. The event is scheduled for 24th October to 1st November 2023 in Cairo, Egypt. Abdul said younger lifters discovered at the 7th National Youth Games in Delta State will be given the necessary exposure to become elite athletes in no time. He, however, noted that the paucity of funds might truncate the trip due to the focus of qualifying for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The sports administrator, who commended the promising young weightlifters who made their states proud at the just concluded National Youth Games, added that the Nigerian Weightlifting Federation will continue to focus on grassroots development and create an enabling environment for the athletes to thrive. And that is it on sport. I am Emmanuel Fashini.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. In case you've missed, you can always catch up across all our social media platforms and also watch live on our YouTube. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.